Zacian. Zacian is a Pokemon that needs no introduction, but I'll give it one anyway. Zacian is a restricted legendary introduced in Gen 8. It was considered the second best legendary in those games. Shadow Rider Calyrex. It appeared on 70% of the teams in the Top Cuts World Championships for the senior division of 2022. It won Worlds in all three divisions. Zacian was clearly a menace. But nowadays, where is it? It won a World Championship, and now in Gen 9, you don't see it nearly as often. What happened to Zacian? Before we go into that, however, we have to discuss why Zacian was so good in Generation 8. That comes down to 4 main factors: the stats of Zacian, the ability of Zacian, the typing of Zacian, and Zacian's moves. AKA the stam of Pokemon. First, we have to talk about the stats. And gee willikers, the stats are really, really balanced, very balanced. Zacian had a 170 attack stat, the 5th highest attack stat ever. It's so broken. It can just do so much damage very easily. Its speed is also amazing. 148 speed, which is one of the highest speed attacks ever. These two great stats complement each other amazingly, allowing it to go fast and eliminate everything in its path. Next is its typing. Fairy Steel is the best type combo, in my opinion. These two go together like popcorn in movies. Fairy and Steel are the two best types, and together they function as great offense and defense for Zacian. This type is only weak to 2 other types: Fire and Ground. Next is Zacian's ability. Zacian has Intrepid Sword. Intrepid Sword is a ability that boosts the attack stat of any Pokemon that when it's on the field, but it's only Zacian who has it. And Zacian's attack stat is 170. So combined with the attack boost, this Pokemon does absurd damage. Most Pokemon cannot take a single hit from this behemoth. With a single attack boost, this essentially makes Zacian's base attack 255. What? This ability pushes Zacian to higher heights somehow. Zacian's attack stat from that boost is just too hard to handle for most Pokemon, and is the reason why it was used so much. Well, one of the main reasons. Next, we have to get into the move pool. Zacian has a pretty good move pool. It has the signature move Behemoth Blade, which is a 100 base steel move that doubles in damage to Dynamax Pokemon. This makes Zacian the greatest Dynamax counter, doing 200 damage, combined with its already stupid attack stat and ability, basically just to delete Dynamax Pokemon. Yeah. It's also 20 points stronger than the normal highest physical move, Iron Head, and 15 more powerful than Meteor Mash. With that move, it's easily the best Dynamax counter. It also gets Play Rough, which is a decent, but misses a lot move. It is a 90% accuracy, and if it's not 100% accurate, it's 50% accurate. In addition, it also gets Sacred Sword and Swords Dance, which are 2 great moves that synergize with this kit very well. Swords Dance doesn't run as much because its attack stat is already pretty stupid. With all these factors in play, why don't you see Zacian a crazy amount like you did in Gen 8? It's strange, isn't it? But let's get into it why. First of all, Zacian got nerfed pretty heavily. Zacian's attack stat fell from 170 to 150, which is 20 points less. Its ability also now only works the first time it enters the field. Its signature move is also worse due to no more Dynamax Pokemon, which means, well, it just gets outclassed by a bunch of other signature moves like Astral Barrage. Yes. All these nerfs hurt Zacian, but it's not like you shouldn't see it anywhere else, so what happens to Zacian? Well, the next thing we'll get into isn't really Zacian's fault, it's just an item's fault. And that item is the Clear Amulet. All physical legendaries can hold this item, and this makes sure that none of their stats fall from the opponent, which is just really good. When you go against a lot of physical legendaries now, most of them have it, since they're the centerpiece of their team, and they need to keep up their damage. Well, remember when I talked about Zacian's ability? It only works when it has the Intrepid Sword, and it can only hold that item. So, it can't hold the Clear Amulet like other legendaries. This allows for more physical legendaries to be in play, and they can't they can't really struggle against Intimidate because of their item, while Zacian can. Zacian used to struggle less because its ability, but now Intimidate just makes it. Now just other legendaries are just better with the Clear Amulet. Well, not all of them are better, but you get what I'm saying. The Clear Amulet allows for physical legendaries to just blow past and Intimidate. Meanwhile, Zacian can't really do that, and its item just kind of hold it back a little bit, even though it turns it into its special form. Zacian can only bypass Intimidate once, while these legendaries can do it infinitely, unless they get knocked off by Incineroar. Zacian most recently. Digressing, Zacian was most recently not in the Indianapolis regionals, was not in the top 8 most used legendaries, having less than 5.28% usage. With all these factors in mind, it is clear to see Zacian is not as good as it once was. But is Zacian bad, you might be asking? Heck no. Zacian is a still great Pokemon, and their strength with Gen 9 surely make it worse, but is still a powerhouse who does absurd damage. I won't be surprised to see it win regionals or top cut worlds. It has a decent shot of winning worlds too. But even though it's not the top dog anymore, it's still a good boy.